Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got an exciting one for you. We're going to be talking about budget commander decks that dominate. Let's jump into it. And the first of these 10 commanders that lead those budget commander decks that dominate is Bartome Del Prescidio. And yes, of course, these budget commanders are also, commander decks are also very budget friendly themselves, being just 14 cents for this one. A 2-1 Vampire Knight for 2 mana and Orzhov. Sacrifice another creature or artifact, put a counter on Bartome Del Prescidio. Now, here's the thing that many players out there underestimate. First of all, when you see a commander that's got the uncommon, classification, players are like, oh, that can't be all that good. Well, let me tell you, my goodness, this is anything but uncommon when it comes to its power level and potential. It is, yes, a free sacrifice outlet, which is one of the key ingredients when it comes to aristocrat style decks. It's also incredibly low to the ground in 2 perfect colors for aristocrats. And of course, it gives you the option to sacrifice not only creatures, but also artifacts too. And yeah, the fact that it can become quite massive quite quickly is quite nice, but that doesn't have to be your win condition. You don't have to go, okay, I swing through with my massive commander. It can be nice to do that. Of course, you've got ways to give double strike as well, like Duelist Heritage, and you can one-shot people with this. That being said, the Blood Artistry type effects, which we're getting more and more and more of, it seems like, every single set, going wide with a bunch of creatures, getting a bunch of creature fodder out there, a lot of creature tokens, sacrificing those, and draining opponents in absolutely no time. Yeah, this commander is absolutely fantastic at doing just that. Next up, Dena, Soul Steeper, a 1-3 Dryad Druid for 2 mana in Golgari. Yet another uncommon commander, again at just 14 cents, but one that can have a dominant budget commander deck. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life, and by paying 1, you can sacrifice another creature to give Dena plus X plus 0 until after X the sacrifice creature's power. Now, that is nice, but what matters for this one again is that trigger of, hey, you gain, your opponents have pain. There you go. Nice little rhyme there for you. So with this one, though, being able to have a lot of different, essentially, ways to gain life, not just giant chunks of life, but a lot of, like, little tiny ones. Like, oh, okay, you play a land, you gain a life, you do this, you gain a life, you do that, you do a life. You just being able to repeatedly gain life throughout the game. There are a lot of different great ways to do that. And by doing so, well, you absolutely drain your opponents in absolutely no time. There's also other kind of, cards that basically do the exact same thing as Dena, kind of like backup commanders too, like Marauding Blight Priest, basically. Being able to utilize those things to essentially double this up on top of cards like Wound Reflection that just double up life loss anyways. There's a lot of great budget-friendly ways that you can dominate your opponents with this. And of course, like I mentioned the previous commander, yeah, Blood Artistry type effects can be great too, because those also gain you life on top of the life loss. And of course, this is a sacrifice outlet too. Not free, but still 1 mana. Not too bad right there. Moving on, Finn the Fang Bearer, 21 cents. Wow, up 7 cents from our last commander. Oh, he's steal though still. A 1-3 Human Warrior for 2 mana in green. Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. Now, here's the thing. Over the years, we have been getting more and more and more Death Touch creatures in green. And more and more and more low to the ground Death Touch creatures in green. I'm talking about 1 mana, just having all the keywords out there. But yeah, most importantly, having Death Touch. There is one that has like 3 keywords at 1 mana. You're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But yeah, 1 is Death Touch, which is key for this. Again, there are going to be so many scenarios where you go, okay, turn 1, all right, Death Touch creature, turn 2, Finn, swing with my Death Touch creature. You've got 2 poison counters, and it's only turn 2. Maybe even turn 1 for that player, right? Basically, because that player only had 1 turn to play a land. They're like, okay, land, go. And you're like, all right, you have 2 poison counters. What? Yeah, and then next turn, you swing again with Finn and that creature, and they're at 6 on turn 3. Plus, you probably just played like 3 more Death Touch creatures. Yeah, you can take opponents out so incredibly quickly with this. And again, it just takes 1 poison counter on an opponent to put them into the danger zone when it comes to proliferate type effects as well, which we're getting more and more and more of over the years too. Yeah, this is a low to the ground aggressive creature that can do some amazing things with a deck that is getting more and more and more support as the years goes on. Yeah, Finn the Fangbearer is a fantastically budget-friendly, amazing commander. Pick him up. And all the other commanders on this episode, make sure you check out that card list link in the description below. And of course, check out my decks on these as well. But now let's take a step down to just 9 cents. That's right, just 9 cents for this commander with a deck that can be built so budget-friendly around it, your head will spin. Gelli the Generous, a 3/3 Goblin Shaman for 3 mana in Gruul. Now, this is a commander that players somewhat don't take seriously because, well, the art is very whimsical, and also, again, it is uncommon. I keep saying that uncommon commanders don't get taken seriously when they definitely should. Each other non-human creature you control enters with an additional counter on it. Now, the fact that it is non-human doesn't really stop you from doing exactly what this deck wants to do, because there aren't many humans out there that have Persist. That's right, whenever you see a commander that's like, hey, you get a counter when you come into play, oh cool, you can just dominate Persist decks. Just absolutely go, okay, by the way, now all I need is a free sacrifice outlet, whether that's Goblin Bombardment or something along those lines, and then also a Persist creature, and therefore I win. I mean, Goblin Bombardment's kind of the perfect one because it's like a win condition / sacrifice outlet, but still, being able to have like an impact tremors or any way to essentially go, okay, creature comes into play, I ping my opponents. Even if it's just 1 damage, that doesn't matter. Hey, yeah, 1 damage over and over and over and over and over again equals I win the game. Because again, a Persist creature essentially enters the battlefield, a -1/-1 counter on it if it entered from your graveyard, basically when it died. And then this says, hey, you get a +1 counter. And because of certain rule changes that happened many years ago, essentially, now those counters cancel, and then you sacrifice the creature again, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. Basically, just keep looping Persist creatures as many times as you want, and Gelli's just like, yeah, this is great, this is amazing. You're not a human, right? Okay, cool, all right. I win. We're going to step back up in price a little bit to just 17 cents, though. Still, Queen Elanel of Ruadac, a star elf noble for 3 mana in Selesnya. Power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control, so this can become quite massive in absolutely no time, because also, hey, if one or more creature tokens be created under your control, those tokens plus a 1/1 white soldier creature token are created instead. Here's the thing. Yeah, this can become massive. Again, kind of like Bartome Del Prescidio. That doesn't have to be your win condition, though, even though it definitely can be. And, of course, again, you are in white, too, so obviously you got double strike type effects. You know, you got, like, Duelist Heritage type effects. You're able to go, okay, yeah, I'm at 11 power on this. Okay, I swing, double strike, and you're gone when I come through and hit you. Thank you. Goodbye. That being said, again, being able to just go so wide, so fast your opponent's heads will spin, yeah, this is exactly what this commander can do. Because, again, you are making creature tokens. With this deck, there are plenty of ways to make creature tokens. You're in, like, the perfect 2 colors for making creature tokens. And this is a commander that basically not technically doubles up those tokens, but, again, gives you an additional one. So if you are making 1 token at a time, with something like, say, an Errasta of the Endless Web trigger, you're getting a secondary token along with that. You are going so wide, so fast, and, of course, you are in colors that have amazing pump effects, that have amazing anthem effects. You are going to dominate. And with the nice backup plan of, again, oh, I swing and I one-shot someone, thank you. Yeah, have fun. But next up, we've got Quasa, Augur of Agonies, a 3/4 Cephalid Advisor for 4 mana in Esper. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, drawing cards is already a very good thing in Commander, as many of you might know. Drawing cards is one of the best things in Commander, one of the best things in Magic in general. Being able to just go, okay, I draw so many cards, good for me. I have all the cards in the world. Now you can actually make your opponents feel even worse when you're drawing those cards, because you're like, oh, you're also losing life. Cool. On top of that, of course, you are in a great color combination to, again, take advantage of an opponent's life loss, maybe even double that up. You've got ways to take advantage of your life gain as well. And, of course, there are certain combinations, like, Drog Skull Reaver, which go infinite. Now that you do need some kind of, not workarounds with that, but your opponents have to be at a certain life total to finish them off before you finish yourself off with drawing your library, or you need a way to shuffle your library, but, of course, there are plenty of ways to do that. On top of that, obviously, you are in colors that have amazing tutors. Yes, you do. So, yes, you can tutor for, that combination to actually win you the game if you need to. But, yeah, other than that, just going, okay, Mass Draw Spell? Cool. Oh, Wheel? Oh, yeah, that works too. Any way to draw a ton of cards at once? Great. I take opponents out again and again and again. Yeah, have fun with that. Now, for the longest time, Mono White has not been taken maybe nearly as seriously as it needs to be, and Teshar Ancestor's Apostle is one that you need to take seriously if you're playing against it. If you're playing with it, and your opponents aren't taking it seriously, well, that's on them, because this is an amazing commander, so incredibly dominant, and again, when it comes to combos, There are so many different variations of combos that you will, well, kind of maybe need like a cheat sheet off to the side or like Commander Spellbook open basically to get through all of them. And there's going to be sometimes you don't even realize you have a combo in your hand. You're like, oh wait, that works. Okay, here we go. 2/2 Bird Cleric with flying for 4 mana in white. Whenever you cast a historic spell, which again counts artifacts, legendaries, and sagas, return target creature card mana value 3 or less in your graveyard right to the battlefield. Literally, casting any historic spell goes, okay, reanimate that. You cast a Soul Ring for 1 mana, like, oh yeah, reanimate that. Okay, reanimate that, reanimate that, reanimate that, reanimate that. Here's the thing. Historic spells, artifacts, are broken. There are so many ways to use and abuse artifacts. It's absolutely insane. And of course, there are creatures that are also artifacts, meaning that you can do really cool artifact loops. You can do really cool, amazing, just insane magic combinations of, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that you absolutely go crazy. And, yeah, you can win in so many different ways. Again, literally just type in Teshar into Commander Spellbook and see how many combos pop up. You are going to have your mind blown. Next up, just 8 cents for Tatiova. Now, here's the thing. Tatiova is a card that when it was first printed, it was like, okay, kind of put uncommon commanders on the map, in my opinion, where it's like, oh, how in the world is that uncommon? That is not uncommon at all. That is an amazing effect. That is an amazing trigger. Yeah, this could have been probably printed at Mythic, and players wouldn't have batted an eye. And at Mythic, it would be super expensive. I mean, it'd be a very expensive card. I mean, we already have kind of an example of like a certain sea monster out there that basically does the exact same thing in a way, essentially. And it is quite expensive because I think that's a precon one, but still basically a Mythic. Anyways, a 3/3 Merfolk Druid for 5 mana in Simic. Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Now, here's the thing. Gaining the life. That's nice. That's not the point. Yeah, there are great ways to, take advantage of that. There's great ways to pad your life total. There's great triggers you can have. Cool. But drawing a card every single time a land enters battlefield under your control, that means when you play a land, when you say crack a fetch land and go get another land, when you ramp, tutor for lands, get more lands into play, when you escape shift and do crazy things, yeah. There are a lot of great ways to take advantage of this, and casting a single Harrow draws you 2. What in the world? Yeah, there are absolutely bonkers, incredible budget decks built around this. There's plenty of other great, fantastic landfall effects that you can really take advantage of. Again, make a massive army in absolutely no time, draw even more cards, gain even more life, sure, why not? What you're going to be doing with this one, though, is just dominating the board with value because, again, you're already incentivized in Commander to play a bunch of lands. There you go. Just ramp. Get all the resources in the world. And so now with that incentive benefiting you to then draw cards, which also is massive in Commander, you are going to be ahead of everyone in ramp. You're going to be ahead of everyone in card draw, and you're going to have all the value you could ever need to dominate and win the game. Yeah, Tatiova, again, definitely not uncommon power level at all. But next up, at 21 cents, how about the least reverent medium? A 3/4 human cleric for 5 mana in Orzhov. Beginning of each end step, create X/1/1 white sphere creature tokens with flying, where X the number of tokens you created this turn. Here's the thing. This happens at each end step. Each end step, not just your own. When it comes to these types of effects, typically it's like, yeah, at your end step. That's usually when that would happen. Or it's like an upkeep trigger or whatever it is. But basically, it's usually just once. This one says, no. We're playing multiplayer. We're going to take advantage of this 4 times. Not just 1 time, 4 times. So if we've got ways to make tokens, we are doubling those up. And of course, with that, well, again, it does say, number of tokens you created this turn, not the number of creature tokens you created this turn. So we are doubling up on any kind of token. That means treasures, that means clues, etc., etc., etc. Any kind of token you can grab, you're just making all of a sudden a giant, massive, evasive army. An amazing evasive army. And of course, you are in white, which has some great anthem effects as well to pump those creatures. And you've got other ways to take advantage of making tokens as well. It's basically a token doubler from the command zone. And how absurd is that? It's an amazing commander. Make sure you check it out. And finally, at just 18 cents, Hamza, Guardian of Arashian, a 5/5 Elephant Warrior for 6 mana in Selesnya. It costs 1 less cast for each creature control they counter on it. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less cast for each counter. Well, creature control they counter on it. Basically, what's going to be happening with this one is you're going to be saying, hey, I pay basically nothing for this to get into play. and if it ever gets dealt with, I pay basically nothing to get it back out and play. Oh, and by the way, all my creatures cost basically nothing as well. This is a commander that just cost reduces everything in your deck down to basically nothing, and in some cases, exactly nothing. I mean, like, Ancestral Statue is a creature that, you know, it enters the battlefield and it bounces anything you want, including itself, basically. So what you do is you go, oh, okay, yeah, I've got 4 creatures in play with counters on them. Okay, my spells cost 4 less. Ancestral Statue costs 4. Now it costs 0. I play it. I bounce it. I play it. I bounce it. I play it. I bounce it. Etc., 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 as many times as you want, and all of a sudden you've got infinite storm count and whatever kind of other ETB, LTB triggers you might have, and yeah, plenty of ways to win the game from there. And that's just one example. Of course, you can also just play just massive Eldrazi for free, basically, at a certain point, while dominating your opponents and just obnoxiously, well, doing, I mean, I would say please don't do it obnoxiously, but yeah, you can do some pretty crazy things again, like Ancestral Statue. You should probably demonstrate the loop, and also make sure you're playing in a play group that's okay with a loop like that, too, so I will mention that. So don't be obnoxious, just dominate. And with that, this episode is come to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.